Hi everybody, I'm Zilla Blitz, and welcome to episode 6 in our series with Silent Victory, GMT's game of World War II submarine combat in the Pacific Theater. Now this is only going to be our third patrol. Of course, in our last episode, we had a run-in with a certain Japanese dive bomber, and there was a lot of ambiguity as to whether we were actually still alive or whether we had been sunk. Turns out, after all that yes, we're still alive. So now that we're based in Pearl, we're going to be heading right out of Pearl Harbor on our third patrol. Let's put all that ambiguity behind us. I'm hoping for a straightforward patrol. Let's get started. Let's do a quick recap of our career so far. Our first two patrols were successful patrols. We just squeaked out a success on our last patrol by sinking a ship in our last patrol zone. So that gives us, over the two patrols, 4 total ships sunk for a total damage of 24,500 tons. If the game were to end right now, we would be in that draw category. Now, we have our full starting crew is still with us. Executive Officer Wallace, Chief Engineer Wagner, who was wounded and received a Purple Heart in the last patrol. Our doctor is Lyle, and our second executive officer in charge of the torpedo room is Officer Custard. So all things are good so far with our crew, and a reminder that we did, by that random event, get reassigned to Pearl Harbor in our previous mission. So we are operating out of Pearl Harbor in Hawaii right now, no longer operating out of Australia. In terms of time, our last patrol was in April and May, the 2 months there. We only needed a one month refit because we only had 2 damaged systems. So this brings us to July 1942, which gives us over here an additional radar system, SJ radar. That means we'll be able to shift to day to night on a die roll of 1 to 5 now, instead of a die roll of 1 to 4, which is a nice bonus to have. That could come in very handy. I've also been chatting with Officer David, who is our liaison officer in charge of the sub-pens and repair bays, and he has assured us that they are working on the dud rate issue with our torpedoes, which, as we know, are duds on a roll of 1 to 4. He expects improvements in these torpedoes, not in this current patrol, but in forthcoming patrols after this. So that is also something to look forward to. With that being said, that gives up, I think that takes care of our little recap here. Let's jump in and see where we're assigned for patrolling. So our patrol possibilities have changed quite a bit. Midway, Marshall Islands, Marianas, Philippines, China Sea, and the Empire patrol routes. Let's roll and see where we've got. We're using a new chart, July of 1942. We get a 5, which is Empire, and it is M. It's a mine-laying mission in addition to a torpedo, an attack mission. So this is interesting. The whole success of this, again, hinges on whether we can successfully lay mines to the south of Japan. So let's get this set up and get started. So in preparation for the mine-laying mission, we have refitted our submarine, the Skipjack, with 8 mines, and replaces 8 of our 24 torpedoes. So we have 8 mines and 16 torpedoes now as we'll head out to sea. All right, let's get started now. I must say that I'm excited the Skipjack is still alive and we're still in action. I'm also a little bit freaked out by just those last aircraft rolls, because the odds for getting those rolls of what we got were astronomically low, or high, whatever it was. Unlikely would be the right way to put it. But here we are with another transit zone. Now, the last 2 transit zones, we have rolled aircraft on rolls of snake eyes. Now, we're not going to roll a snake eye roll again. I think even if I rolled one, no one would believe me at this point. But hoping we can get through this transit roll okay. Here we go. A 7. Okay, it was not a 2. So we are through our first transit roll. Now, I will have to say that some of where we're going to the Empire patrol zone and also our mine-laying mission, that also involves a lot of aircraft. So I feel like, for whatever reason, the Skipjack is destined to meet another aircraft here. Hoping we can make it through this second zone. Ooh, I saw that 1 come up, and then I was looking at the other die spinning, and I said, wait a second. No! But a 6. So we are through our 2 transit zones. We make the long, lonely haul to Empire. Now this is the box with the M in it, so this is our mine layer mission. So we go down to the special missions chart. Here is our biggest chance for running into an aircraft. A roll of a 2, 3, or 4 is bad. We need a 5 or greater to successfully deploy our mines and be okay. Let's get a nice high roll. 8. Excellent. So our mines are now deployed, and that means that this mission, as long as we make it back, is actually a success. So I mean, the risks of these special missions are that You can fail this, and then the whole patrol, regardless of how many ships you sink, is a failure. But when we have something like that with a successful mission, that gives us our third successful patrol, regardless of what happens now, as long as we can make it back. Now, still, we have a lot of hunting to do, and we have 16 torpedoes left in the skipjack. We're going to have 1 and then a 2, so we have 3, 4, 5 patrol zones to explore. Let's take a look at Empire and see what we've got. Now, I did notice on a roll of a 4, we get a warship, which would be kind of exciting. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to take it down with only 16. Well, that's crazy, right? If we have 16 torpedoes, we should be able to take down a warship, if we're moderately lucky, I would suppose. A lot of escorts around here. And then I did see on the roll of 3 that we do run into our friendly aircraft. Now, an 11 would be a convoy, which would be pretty good. Actually, sorry, a 4 is a warship. A 12 is a capital ship. So not likely that we're going to have one of those, because the first time we roll that would be a random event. Anyway, let's stop babbling and get started here. Searching around the shores of Japan, we get an 8, which is a ship plus an escort. All right, let's... Now, if this is daytime, I still think we're going to be able to follow anyway, because it's now a roll of 1 to 5 to be able to follow, because we have that SJ radar. So let's set this up and then go in and determine what we'll do. So the first thing we need to do is to determine whether what the size the ship is. On a 1 to 4, it's a small ship, and we get a 1. So it is a very small ship, if the die roll is any indicator. Now let's roll to see which ship and which chart this is. I'm going to do this all at once on the small freighter target list here. So the black die will indicate which one of the 3 charts it comes from. Then the black and white 10-sided die will give us our 1 to 100 number here. So we get a 5 on the 6-sided die, which tells us it's going to be target roster C. And then we get a 91, which is the 2,900-ton Keizan Maru. All right, which is a small freighter. So not very big here, rather small target. Let's get that in place, and let's also roll now to see whether it is daytime or nighttime. On a 1 to 3, it is day. A 4 to 5, it is a 4 to 6, it's night. It is day. Now we are going to try to switch to night. Normally this is a 1 to 5 roll, 1 to 4 roll, but because we have the SJ radar, it's a 1 to 5 roll. It brings it back to that kind of the default thing, which is actually the error that's in this chart. This chart should say 1 to 5, and you lose that if you don't have SJ. Because we have SJ now, it is a 1 to 5 roll. So hopefully we can successfully follow this. Yes. Excellent. The SJ radar helps us make the follow. So we have successfully followed. We'll be able to engage at night. Let's get this set up with our targets on it and then figure out what we're going to do. Alrighty, we have a strategy here. We're going to come in at medium range, as is kind of our usual modus operandi, and we're at nighttime, so we've got that. We're actually going to come in submerged, which is going to not give us a bonus to hit, but it's going to avoid that detection run that we would have on us afterwards. So, and rather than firing both our forward and aft torpedoes, which we only could do if we did come in on the surface, you can't do that submerged during the day or submerged at all. We have to be at night in the surface to be able to do that. We're just going to fire all 4 forward torpedoes. And my thinking is that we have plenty of zones left within which to search. I think this gives us about a 50% chance to sink this and a greater chance to actually damage it, in which case we could follow. And it puts that at a minimum risk to detection, which will allow us to continue the mission and get perhaps some more shots off with our other torpedoes, because we still have 12 torpedoes left after this. So as we line up on the Keizan Maru, let us fire 4 shots at medium range. We need a 7 or less, and there are actually no modifiers to this because we're not on the surface. Or doing anything like that, even though it is nighttime. So 7s or less, our dud rolls are still 1 to 4. Here we go. Let's go, Officer Custard. Fire 1. We have a hit, but it is a dud. God, this is very familiar. Fire 2. A miss and a dud. Fire 3. A miss and a dud. Excellent. Okay. Down to our last one. Fire 4. It was not a dud, but it didn't hit. 0 for 4, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at 0 for 4. Alrighty. So here we go to detection. Now, we have no modifiers here because we didn't attack on the surface, and it's not at night. Well, it's night, but we didn't attack on the surface, and we didn't fire both salvos. So we just need an 8 or less to be undetected. Let's hope we can get out of here. Okay, here they come. A 9. We are detected. Let's set up the hits and the attack on the skipjack here. God, this isn't a dreadful start to this patrol. Alrighty, so the skipjack here, let's see how many hits we had. Now we're on the left side of the infamous escort air attack chart here, and all the modifiers on the left side that have the escort thing apply. We have no pluses or minuses, no die roll modifiers to this because we were submerged as we attacked. So this is just the die roll will give us the hits here. We get a 2. Nice! That's about time we got a 2 that's useful to us. So a 2 means absolutely no hits at all. Oh, well that's just excellent. Great. Okay, so let's decide whether we want to try to follow this or continue on. We'll have to make a decision here now. Let me think about it for a second. Alrighty, I got way ahead of myself here because even though it missed us, that doesn't mean we have escaped detection. So we have to roll again to see if we get away here. Now, we need a 7 or less to get out because it's normally an 8 or less, no other modifiers, but we were previously detected. So a 7 or less to escape detection. Now, get out of here. Oh, God, 11. Okay, no die roll modifier, so there's no plus onto the attack die roll modifier. So just a straight up 11, we are detected again. Now we'll roll for hits again, and this is... There are no modifiers to this as well. Let's get another 2 or 3, that would be nice. An 8, not so lucky this time. An 8 is 2 hits. Okay, let's roll for damage here. Black die is the first digit. So our first one, 56. 56 is electric motor number 4. We rolled one. Didn't we roll like 2 55s and a 56 on the last patrol? Because we don't have an electric motor number 4. We just have 2 electric motors. Yet the Japanese destroyers keep targeting our electric motors. We're really lucky here. So that again, if you don't have it, there's no damage and you don't roll again. So second roll for us here. A 25. 25 is diesel engine number 2. Okay, so that's not so good. But we have 4 of them, so no need to panic yet. And that takes care of those 2 hits. All in all, I'm pretty happy with how that worked out. Let's get diesel engine number 2 with a damage marker on it. Hopefully, Engineer Wagner can fix that right up for us. Now we need to roll again for detection. Same thing, none of the, no die roll modifiers here. We just need a 7 or less to get out of here. Come on, give us a low roll now, please. Ah, goodness, an 8. Okay, this destroyer is proving particularly pesky here. Let's roll for hits again. There are no modifiers whatsoever. A 9. A 9 is 2 hits again. God, okay. So here we go again. Come on, let's get another 55. 65, not a 56. 65. Ooh, that's painful. That is a hull plus 2. So that one stings. Let's get the next one here on us. Gosh, if we had exceeded test depth, we would have not had any. We would have had 1 hull damage, but in retrospect, not much we can do about that. Second roll, 44 is flooding. Okay, so that ends that round. We have to roll now for additional flooding. Additional flooding, see if Wagner can stop it. It's a 1 to 4 to stop it. It's a 6. It doesn't stop it, so we have had some additional flooding in the skipjack. I'm not worried yet, but I'm starting to feel like maybe I should be. Maybe I'm just taking this way too casually. Anyway, so with 1 diesel engine damaged and our hull now slightly dinged up and some flooding and some water in the skipjack, we are going to try to escape detection once more. Once again, we need a 7 or less. Yes! We're finally out of here. Let me just check to make sure there's no modifiers that I missed here. No, we are good. So, yes, we've escaped detection and we are out of here. That means we can blow the flooding out of the skipjack. We ended up with 2 hull damage, which will extend our refit by 1 month, and the damage to our diesel engine number 2. Let's see now if Engineer Wagner can fix that. On a 1 to 4, it is fixed. Yes, Engineer Wagner with a 1 makes easy work of diesel engine number 2, and it's back in operation. So just a flesh wound for the skipjack. Now we want to follow this convoy. Now, because we have SJ radar, the following changes from a 1 to 4 to a 1 to 5. So unless we roll a 6, we can successfully follow this and re-engage and try our luck again. Yeah, well there. Okay. Well, I left that one in there, but it was the 6, obviously. So, no luck for the skipjack with the Keizan Maru, which escapes our grasp. Let's go back to the patrol zone and go to our second patrol zone. Alrighty, so that patrol zone is done. Nothing sunk. We go to Empire, which is a ×2 patrol zone. So we'll roll our twice for this zone. Let's see what we get on the first roll here. A 7. 7 brings up nothing. So no luck on our first pass through this zone. Let's roll again here. 7. Nothing. 7's a lucky number, but not for us yet. Once again, we're approaching the end of patrol without anything sunk. Hopefully we can get something here. A 7. Okay. What's with the skipjack and the consecutive numbers? To our last patrol zone. Gosh, I'm glad we laid the mines, actually, in retrospect, and it was successful because we have had no luck here. Hopefully, now last time we were in the same situation. We got a ship and were able to sink something. Hopefully the same thing can happen here. Come on, let's get us something good here. I'd like a 6, like 2 ships plus escort. That would be awesome. Or an 11 for a convoy. A 10. Nothing. Well, there you have it. We head for home. I am so glad we had the mines. I wasn't super excited about the mines kind of when we first came in, but I am very glad we had the mines this time because we had absolutely no luck hunting the seas of Japan here. Now, we do have no time to relax for the skipjack and its crew because this is where disaster started to happen last time with us. In the transit zone, we need, of course, anything but a 2. I'm really freaked out to roll this. It's not going to be a 2, right? It's going to be greater than a 2. So we need a 7 again. Oh, there we go. Called it. All right, so we get through that transit zone. Our last transit zone before we get back to Pearl Harbor. Oh, I saw that 1 come up again and I started to freak out, but it's a 5. Dice are just toying with us, and here we are back at Pearl. Well then, let's wrap this one up. Not a super eventful mission, nothing sunk, but the mines saved it as a successful mission, so we will have a crew advancement. Let's get back into port and sort this out. Alright, so the skipjack is back in port at Pearl Harbor after a successful mission. We do upgrade, oh, this looks the same here. The flip side of this here is 3 patrols, so we get our commendation ribbon here, or insignia that goes up to level 3, and then the sub itself, the skipjack, we get our 3rd battle star for a successful patrol of any type. So that gives us those little indicators. We'll start reloading our torpedoes here in the forward tubes, but unfortunately no ships sunk. So after 3 patrols, we're still stuck at 24,500 tons of damage. Still, I mean, pretty good start, I think, for where we were. But it'd be nice to get a little bit more, of course. But our 3rd successful patrol, and that means that because we've had our 3rd patrol now, that's a success, we can roll for our crew advancement. So let's do that as soon as we get all the torpedoes back in here. Okay, our torpedo, well, hopefully they're not just rolling around there, but you get the idea. We've got all our torpedoes back in. Now, before we roll for crew advancement, let's get the submarine, let's get the boat refitted here. We take it to Officer David, who we let him know about the hull damage. He informs us it's going to take an extra month to repair the dings to the hull. So we came in, because each patrol is 2 months in this game, we came in August of 1942. A normal refit would take us through September of 1942, but the damage to the hull extends that by 1 month. So we are in port for 2 months through October 1942, and our next patrol, our 4th patrol, will be November of 1942. Now, the good news is that Officer David has informed us that there have been improvements to the torpedoes. So the dud rate will drop from 1 to 4 to 1 to 3, which is actually a huge improvement, I think. These duds are getting a little bit tiresome. I can only imagine what it would have been like in real life. So with all that being said, we know when our next patrol is. We've taken care of our submarine advancements and we've fixed things up. The last thing we just have to do here is to roll for our crew advancement. This is a 1 die roll to see which one of our crew members, either the executive officer, chief engineer, pharmacist mate, the doctor, or the 2nd officer, 3rd officer here, will advance. Or if we get a roll of a 5 or a 6, it is our crew that advances. Now, we did not have a crew advance in the whole Hunters campaign. It'd be kind of fun. I'd like to see our crew advance. Honestly, though, I think the next best advancement would be chief engineer, because there's so many repair rolls that influences. So let's see what we get here. A 4. 4 is the 2nd officer. Custard will get his advancement. So congratulations. All right, so here is our expert. It goes on our 3rd officer, Officer Custard. So congratulations, Officer Custard, for your promotion. That brings us to the end. Somewhat of a mild mission. I mean, a little bit of action, a little bit of getting depth charged, but unfortunately, it's a little bit of a dry feeling when we don't have any ships sunk. I'm not sure that's happened to us before in any patrol in the Hunters or here. I feel like we always sank something, and even the special missions and stuff like that. But anyway, a successful mission thanks to the mines. And so we will be back in a week next Monday for Submarine Mondays for our November 1942 patrol. 3 missions, 3 patrols under the belt. And this one, because we will be on duty for more than a year, there's a potential chance that as the commander of the ship, we could get a promotion there as well. Looking forward to the next episode. We're driving on. Thanks everybody for tuning in. If you've enjoyed it, of course, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new, please consider subscribing. We try to play submarine games every Monday, and always, comments and everything are greatly appreciated as well. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you next week. Bye.